more than dozens.
What are you even talking about? I don't know what. Okay, I gotta bring it back. I gotta bring it back on track.
Examples of
Go ahead.
oppression.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to ask. I think the instance that you provided of like, okay, a woman can go and capitalize on her beauty. Yeah, that can totally happen, right?
That's fair. I mean,
it can only take you so far.
But I have like a sub question that goes with that, and I want to hear like your honest opinion. What percentage of women do you think are beautiful enough to get that privilege? Is it the majority of women, or is it the minority?
Mid chicks are
Yeah, but that person.
I'm just genuinely curious. There's no wrong
seriously.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know if I would give a percentage of it. It'd probably be like 40% of women could probably do it.
Could reach that like level of like
use their beauty to stick their foot in the door to be able to get opportunities. I definitely think so.
Sounds like a movie version of what you think it is, because that's not what it really is.
Hold up. How do you think OnlyFans is blown up?
That's a whole other fucking type
women
of
who
thing.
are
you can be
like 40% of the 40% of the highest I guess attractiveness of women
that just has
can
to
jump
do with
on
your looks,
a
though.
random website and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Beauty gets you a whole lot in this this culture.
In OnlyFans, sure.
No,
in things that have to do with just your image. Sure.
Okay, no, but you can't any entertainment industry
and taken seriously and like, oh, you're talented, and then not go through a group of people that pretend like they're gonna like facilitate your career or whatever, and not try to abuse their power.
No, beauty gets you a whole lot in pretty much any
agree,
industry,
but not to that extent.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
If we were to assume for a second that it was only 5%, only 5%, that you could agree at least that 5% of women could possibly go that route with beauty, right? Maybe not as high as 40%. Maybe 5.
I don't know, maybe, possibly, but still not without
does that sound
not
realistic?
without zero encounters of the type that I'm talking
I got to
about.
move on. I do have to move on. Do you want to make your final point, Andrew, or I mean, it's this?
Yeah,
this is
well, I mean, I
derailed.
was just
It's
going to grant
derailed.
it and say, well, even if it was an abysmally low number who could leverage beauty for gain, let's say 5%, 3%, even 2%, it wouldn't matter. That wouldn't mean that women who rated themselves as a 10 and had a high esteem of their beauty might not still follow that route, thinking that they would be part of a percentile that they actually weren't.
Okay, great, but that still doesn't at all like make me believe that you at least try to understand that this is a very real and possible thing and version of oppression that we're talking about.
So, okay, women are oppressed in the music industry?
Sure, if that's what you want to fucking chalk it down to, that's all it is. That's not all it is. That's just that's a personal. That's something that I can really speak on without having to research it and like look at statistics. This is something that I've experienced myself.
Women are just oppressed in the
no,
music
not
industry.
all
They
women, not every woman around the fucking world, not every woman in the music industry, and in a lot of fields of work.
Wait, you're a musician, right? You're a musician?
I also, yes, do music.
Okay, and so you think you haven't been able to make it in the music industry because you're a woman?
No.
So what's
not
your
that.
argument?
I've had to go through being potentially in really unpleasant situations in order to get.
There's producers that want to hit.
Yeah, like,
and they're gonna. I get it.
What about photographers? As a model, it's not. This isn't. It's. Not just like Hollywood. I'm good looking and I just get
Hollywood
these things
has
like a piece of fucking cake, you know.
Hollywood has a terrible reputation
but it's not,
for the casting couch.
That's the only representative I can give because that's what I know.
Okay, cool. So
but it goes across the board with other things.
I do have to move it on. Back to you.
Move on. Yeah.
Name one right a man has that you do not.
One right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think there's a difference in. Okay, here's my view of feminism, right? Because I think that what you're referring to is like suffrage. I think that women and men do have equal rights. I still think that you can have equal rights, but due to systemic factors, experience different forms of discrimination, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would argue that women and men have all the same rights, but there are added forms of discrimination that you face as a woman that you wouldn't face as a man.
Such as
getting catcalled, getting paid less. And I know we were talking about the gender pay gap earlier, but on average, like statistically speaking, women with the same amount of experience, same amount of education, when all those factors are leveled out, women
it's
are
less
still,
than 1%.
Women are still paid less, though. They are in that sense.
They've if you actually control for everything, there is a small discrepancy. It's less than 1%.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the sources that I have seen. I would like to look
There's
at
a pay scale, Nick. There should be a pay scale somewhere.
It's not really.
Hold on. Where is it? Nick, just do Google pay scale. It's a website. Pay scale wage gap. 2024 gender pay gap report. Pay scale. Trying to find. And what do you say about, for example, that Asian women out-earn white men? What do you think about that?
Asian women out-earn white men. Can I see the statistics on that before I speak on it?
I can pull it up, Nick. There's a infographic wage folder.
Why is
and there's
that
a couple
relevant,
things
though?
on Asian women. So Asian women are out-earning white men. Is this perhaps evidence of sexism or even racism against white men?
Oh.
Can I see the statistics before I speak on this?
Why don't you just assume that it's correct?
I don't want to. I don't want to right now.
Can you say that one more time?
Okay,
Like,
so
why
the
is that
Bureau,
relevant?
the source is the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Okay.
I could pull up the specific infographic that would show this, but Asian women are out earning white men.
Okay.
Is that like in a specific job or is that just
Nope.
in general?
Across
Generally
full-time
speaking.
workers, full-time workers. So
Is this leveled out for things like years of experience in education, or is this just on average population-wise?
Just on average, population-wise, Asian women versus white men.
Well, I feel like I would need a more detailed study in order to give an accurate take on this, but I'll provide two factors why I think this could be. One, there is a stereotype that Asian women are more educated. There is a great pressure on them to be educated. I think that there's two factors that could explain this, and it could just be that they have more years of experience or greater levels of education, like more advanced degrees. Since we don't have a study that accounts for those variables, I don't think I could accurately speak on this.
Nick,
But you don't know if we
Scroll
have a
down.
study that accounts for those
there's
variables.
a blue and a red
I'm saying I haven't seen it.
thing that you can scroll
Right?
down to.
It could very well have taken bias as a variable.
I mean,
Bias is included in sociological studies like this all the time as being a variable, in fact. That's why we end up with name studies and things like this.
It's blue,
So
blue-red.
my kind of pushback on that would be to ask, as a counter, if you were to say, well, this could be due to the fact that there's bias due to a stereotype, and because employers believe that Asian women are more educated, they tend to hire them at the same rate that they do men. This is your kind of essential argument, right? You could also just, oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. You can finish.
Is that your essential argument?
I am not arguing that there's a stereotype. I'm arguing that I have not seen the results of this study. I've not read it in depth. I don't. like to
Okay, let me
speak on these
rephrase.
things
Not your
until-
argument, but when you give it could be due to this variable, the variable that you're saying it could be due to would be the fact that a stereotype provides Asian women with an advantage other women don't have, because then during hiring practices, because that stereotype exists, they're going to pay them the same as men because they believe that they're just as educated or something like this, right?
I'm not arguing that it's
Here,
due to the
okay,
stereotype.
let's
I'm
bring it.
arguing
Nick,
that
pull
it
up
would
the
be
thing.
due to,
Does
on
it have,
average,
like,
higher levels,
Scroll up, make it bigger, please.
years of experience and on average
Okay.
higher levels of education.
Yeah. All right. So this is the gender pay gap in 2024. This is pay scale. This is I believe a liberal leaning company. So okay, this is not like they're not trying to gaslight you here. The uncontrolled gender pay gap. This is opportunity pay gap, measures median salary for all men and all women. Doesn't factor in your job, how many hours worked, etc. So 83 cents for every $1 earned by men. Controlled gender pay gap. This measures median salary for men and women with the same job and qualifications. Women earn 99 cents for every $1 earned by men. So that is the controlled pay gap. Okay. Do you think this is dubious? Do you think it's wrong? It's actually more.
I would say that source, no, I don't think that is wrong. I would like to see multiple. I feel like with any field, you should be looking at different sources of data, but I'm not going to try and argue with that one source. No.
Okay. So you also, really quick on the wage gap stuff, sports, do you think, for example, WNBA players should be paid the same as NBA players?
I think it should be going off of things such as number of attendance, number of views, years of experience. Do I think that WA members should be getting more respect? Yeah, I think they should. I think they work hard, and I think that they do deserve more respect, but that's not necessarily about compensation, if that makes sense.
And then so you were kind of listing off the ways in which I asked you about rights. You said men and women have equal rights, but women are discriminated in various ways in which men are not. So what are some of the other ways they're discriminated against?
I would say in the forms of like unpaid labor, the way that they're discriminated against in the medical field. Like, women are believed on average to have higher pain tolerances. They are not taken as seriously by doctors, so a lot of medical conditions will go undiagnosed at a greater rate of women than men. And because of this, on average, women don't receive the same medical care as men. Those are just a few.
Don't women receive more medical care than men?
They don't. It's the quality that I'm arguing.
The quality. So
Yes.
A woman steps into a doctor's office. A man steps into the doctor's office. There will be the medical care will be worse for the woman by virtue of her being a woman.
I would argue that her concerns would not be taken as seriously as a man, and it would, on average, take her longer to receive a proper diagnosis.
I believe women go to the doctors more often than men.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's why?
I agree with that.
No, I think that could definitely be a point, yeah.
Most men I've
Are you
known
familiar
definitely.
with trait neuroticism?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, if you're not, do you think men or women tend to be more neurotic?
It's pretty equal.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty equal.
Well, I mean, psychologists have done.
Yeah, but you're asking me what I think.
They've done personality tests, they've done studies, and women rank higher in trait neuroticism.
Okay.
Again, yeah, that's all I would
Okay,
say on that.
well,
It's pretty
Do you want me
equal.
to say some? Do you have a question?
Well, so I mean, you're saying that women are less likely to get good treatment in medical context, but women overwhelmingly receive, like, I think when it comes to what's it called, like the tax burden when it comes to medical care, women take out way more from the tax system than do men, at least from a healthcare perspective.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to? What's your argument here?
Well, you're saying that women get poorer health care, but if they get more health care than men, wouldn't that counter your argument?
Do you think quantity automatically translates to quality?
Not necessarily, but I mean, men tend to take less from healthcare.
Can I provide just with one example?
Sure.
Personally, and I'll make it quick because I know it's late, everyone's tired. One of my friends recently saw the doctor probably around 10 times. Like you said, women visiting the doctor more on average. I think that's true. I don't disagree with that. She saw the doctor around 10 times. She found out that she has a condition that doesn't allow her to digest food properly. She went through so many tests, so many different scans, everything. She saw multiple different specialists. She had to do a bunch of different processes in order to get this diagnosed, a lot of different testing. In order for her to do this, though, she felt like her symptoms were being dismissed by doctors. They weren't being taken as seriously.
She felt that way. Do you have any actual evidence that they were?
Yes, I actually do. Because in one instance, and this is just one example. I'm not trying to speak on, I'm just providing one example. I don't want this to be taken as, overgeneralization. I'm just speaking from personal experience right now. Or my friends. There was one instance where a doctor sent her a copy of her x-ray, and she actually had to point out something on the x-ray that was irregular, and the doctor overlooked it. And she said, hey...
Because we're neurotic.
But because he overlooked it because she's a woman.
The doctor's a woman.
Okay, did I specify the gender of the...
You said he.
Did I?
Yeah, you said he as in the doctor. The doctor was a woman.
Okay. So did the female doctor overlook it because she's a woman?
I can't say for sure, but I just don't. I'm just saying. I'm not saying causation equals correlation.
I can speak on the X-ray thing.
Okay.
X-rays are notoriously difficult to read. I mean, studies have been done. Like if you get